Roll Tide and welcome back to Bryant-Denny Stadium. We're at the Advantage Center in the podcast studio. This is Roger Hoover. Now, please be joined by Alabama Soccer's Brooke Steere as we are getting set for the start of Alabama soccer season. And Brooke Steere, Roll Tide. It's good to have you here.
So excited to be here.
Just how excited are you for the season to be here? Obviously, there's been a lot of hard work going back to the spring and the summer getting ready for this moment.
Yeah. It all leads up to kind of this one moment, which is just so exciting. And getting started, everyone's kind of antsy to get there, and preseason is hard, and all the tough stuff kind of gets going. Then you get into season, and it's just super exciting. So I couldn't be more excited for it to come around the corner.
And then you've been starting some seasons being one of the newcomers, maybe the Alabama roster, but now you're one of the veterans, one of the seniors on this team. Have you liked that leadership role?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I think that the newcomers have made it easy. They've made our culture better, and just kind of continuing our culture as people that have been here since our culture was built. So continuing that with the new players has been just a really fun job to kind of take on. But it's been great, and I've really enjoyed it so far. Yeah.
Some really good transfers coming in. We've talked a lot about this freshman class. We've interviewed Ashley Roney, Breezy Brewer in here. Just how do you guys as upperclassmen try to welcome them to Alabama?
I think not forcing it, to be honest. I mean, they make it easy when we have similar personalities and we have people that just want to have fun with us and kind of come in open arms themselves. It makes it a lot easier to kind of welcome them in when they want to be welcomed. So we had a lot of fun just kind of doing team bonding stuff and getting to know each other and just becoming friends rather than teammates first, which was really fun. So I think it's less of us forcing it on them and more them just being open to just us welcoming them in and being part of the team. So yeah.
Speaking of team bonding, how fun is it to get on the lake with Coach Hart?
Always fun. Always a fun day. We always got the 3 boats and the tubes and everything. It's just a fun day to kind of decompress from preseason and just get out there and have fun. So yeah, it was a really awesome day.
Now, does he pull the Nick Saban move of him driving the boat, someone on the tube trying to have them hit the waves and knocked off the tube?
Most of the time, and his son decides to do that too, and then Kate Hendo, they all try and do it. But yeah, tubing is an adventure for sure.
That's really cool. So that's all part of the Alabama soccer experience for you and your teammates, and for you getting to join this team. Originally from Michigan, how'd you end up in Tuscaloosa with Crimson Tide?
I mean, so it was actually my first visit. So I got very, very lucky and took a visit that was just incredible. And I love the coaching staff and love the current people on the team. Obviously love the campus. You can't complain about the campus. It's literally college in a movie, if you want to put it like that. But I just really enjoyed the kind of stuff that they wanted to do as I was coming in. And I wanted to go to a program that wasn't already built and crazy and already had all these insane things done, but like had a good stepping stone, and they were doing great things with it. So when I came in and Wes told me what they wanted to do with this team, I was like, I want to be a part of that stuff. So I committed very early, but I really loved everything that they were doing here. And that was 4 years prior to me actually coming in there. So I was really excited to see what happened. And then it's been happening. So, love when stuff actually comes to fruition. So yeah.
It really has, an SEC championship, an appearance in the College Cup that we'll talk about. Who were some of the teammates or that you went through the recruiting process with that ended up committing as well to Alabama and you got to play with here?
Yeah, so Leah Cundy was one of my classmates, Karis Hall, and our class was big and then a little bit smaller as it kind of went, just because of how college goes and that kind of stuff. But it's been interesting because like Jessica Skorka and all those girls in that class, they were kind of with me too when we went to summer camps together with the overnight camp that they do. And we all as commits kind of went to that. So I got to know people a long time before I got in here, and then seeing how they actually are in the college space was kind of cool. So yeah, a lot of a year older than me, a year younger than me, and my year were all kind of in that. So yeah.
Speaking of Leah Cundy, we interviewed Wes about a week ago, and he said, watch out for Leah. She's going to have a great year. What have you seen from her in practice?
Leah, the best word to describe her is just nasty. I mean, everything that she does, I stand there in awe sometimes because I'm like, she just can go. She's so fast. She's so confident on the ball. She can go at people at speed, but also stay very under control with the ball. I don't want to defend her in practice. Let's just say that. I don't have fun doing that. And she's got a shot on her. She's got a cross on her. She's got a lot of weapons that are very, very scary.
Yeah, we're excited to see that offensively for the Tide this year while you're helping the back line get a lot of stops as well. Let's also go back to when you joined Alabama. What was it, the fall of 2020 you came here? And that was still right at the height of COVID.
Well, I actually came in early, so spring of that year would have been when I came in. But yeah, it was very, very, I mean, an interesting time altogether, but I just loved getting to college and kind of that first experience. But I ended up getting hurt my freshman year. So it was kind of a shuffle backwards, and then I came back and then became a defender. So it was a lot.
It really was a lot. And you mentioned the injury. What was that, in the 2021 season?
Yes. So that first season of mine, the fall, a few games in, I tore my shoulder. So yeah, it was an interesting injury for a soccer player.
It really was. So what happened on that play? How'd you come back? Who really helped you?
Yeah, I didn't really expect it, because obviously you don't expect to have a shoulder injury take you out for a season, especially your freshman season, coming in as a soccer player with no upper body injuries ever. But our PT people and everyone who helped with that, and Jeff, our trainer, it was just a very quick recovery, and it was smooth, and they all just wanted to get me back. And it was a very hard time, but coming back and then doing that the next year obviously helps a little bit. So, but yeah, it was interesting for sure.
Yeah, that was hard to see in the 21 season. And you mentioned 22. What was your kind of mindset going into the season then? How did everything change with some other injuries on the team?
Yeah, same kind of process that I had coming in, is I just wanted to help the team do whatever we could. And I think every year, kind of looking in preseason and finding out the talent that we have each year, I'm like, I just want to do whatever we can to make this team as best as we can. And that year, I think, was a big case of that, because I came in and, things were different. Things were crazy. Injuries were coming back, like all this kind of stuff. And I was just kind of sitting down ready to, whatever in preseason kind of came at me, I was ready to do that so that we could get it rolling into season. And then obviously that season was something to be amazed of, but it was great. I think people coming back from injuries, my class had a lot of injuries, but each year we've kind of come back stronger and stronger, and they've figured out kind of how to keep the injuries away, and our strength and conditioning program, they have all done great jobs with that. So I think that year especially, we kind of kept learning stepping stones of how to keep people on the field, and it's been great. Yeah.
Taking over as the starting center back, who helped you the most kind of around you in those early games you started to get more comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, Sasha Pickard has always been my role model. When I was first learning how to play center back, she was teaching me literally everything, and she was yelling at me, telling me where to go on the field, and I would not be the defender that I am today without her at all. But I think she kind of gave me the tools to help other people and to understand like what we do as a defensive line, because we have a very specific way that we play, and she had so much confidence in that, and she had so much faith in that it kind of translated into me. And so any one of our center backs, any one of our outside backs, like I tell them that this is how it works, and this is why we do it. So yeah, she's a huge role model to me, and I give her all her flowers.
Describe that backline mindset that's helped make Alabama soccer one of the dominant programs in the country.
I mean, we hold a high line. We don't let up throughout the game. We're relentless in our pressure, and that most of the time starts with our forwards, but that kind of comes all the way through our back line. And if we weren't kind of like that and our forwards were doing the same thing, we'd be very separate and not like a conjoined team, I guess you could say. But we're relentless. That's the best word I can say, is that we're just going to keep going, and we're going to keep pressing, and we're going to keep that line up so that forwards keep getting frustrated. But yeah.
Well, we've seen that a lot, especially going back to 2022 as you step into that role.
Yeah.
I mean, the great trip out west, the Clemson game at home, and then you go through SEC play. I mean, it had to unfold like a dream season for you all.
It did. And I think especially with that, we're being very careful, because that season was fantastic, and we love it so much, and we love to talk about it because it was amazing. But I'm so excited for this year to be something that not stops us from talking about that year, because that year was amazing. It had its own things that we did with it, but this year I'm super excited to do something else with this team and have another kind of calling card for us for another year. Yeah.
That's certainly exciting for what's coming up this year. Like you mentioned, a great SEC championship season. You make it to the College Cup in 2022. How'd you see last year's team? Still with a lot of familiar faces, some newcomers as well. How'd you guys navigate everything with the pressure of being a defending SEC champion?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Coming back when you've done so much in a year, you come back and A, the standards are so much higher because everyone else is looking at you, but B, the standards for yourself and practice and everything is higher because there's so much wanting to continue doing that and wanting to build the program even higher. And, we got to the College Cup, but no team wants to just get there. And like, that's what they want to do. And we wanted to win another national championship. We still want to win a national championship. So I think last year, especially, it was growing pains of getting kind of past that year and understanding that the year was done. Like it's done. Same thing with this year. And that's what great teams have to do, is go to the next year and keep building and continuing winning and doing all the great things that we did in practice. And that's why. And I think last year kind of our culture built again and again and again with our practices and how we're working towards another great thing and another great year.
Now, last year we did see some great things, including 3 goals for you, especially around some set pieces. What led to success there, finding the back of the net?
Yeah, I think I've always loved getting up in the air and getting on set pieces. And if they finally kind of started clicking at the end of the year last year, which I was very thankful for, hoping to see a lot more of that this year and kind of starting early on it.
I'd always joke with Macy, like I always look for her more than anybody on, set pieces and things like that. She was obviously great with the header goals. A lot of that was, of course, set up by Felicia Knox with a great service. How good was she?
She was, it's Felicia. What else can you say? She's fantastic. Her balls for corners, set pieces, anything, like I could count on it being somewhere near me and Macy's head, which, like you just said, it's a special thing. And I think she's doing great things, and I'm so excited for her and her career, but she's amazing. Just like I was talking about Leah, she's got so many assets and so many things that she can play off of. It's just insane. You kind of, your jaw drops while you're watching her play.
Fans love seeing the goals. I think they also loved on social media the celebration she would have after different goals. Was that natural? Was that planned? How'd that all come together?
Me, Macy, and her had one celebration that we planned, but after that, her energy was just there, and it was awesome and brought fans into the game. So it was natural. Her ability to draw people in was just natural. So
that was pretty funny. And again, fans got to see your personality in the process. I interviewed Raina Reyes 2 years ago, and I said, "Who's the funniest on the team?" And she, without fail, said, "Brooke Steere." Have you always been kind of the one that keeps the locker room loose?
I try to. There's definitely a side of that to me. I'd say I mostly try to keep it loose at practice, and I'm try to keep the vibes up. So I'd like to say I like to do that.
Now, how do you do that? Is it jokes? Is it just the way you say things? Like how does that come together?
I don't know. I got a lot of energy, and I just kind of let it out sometimes, and it just is very consistently there. So however that comes out, whether it's dancing or talking to everybody on the field, I think it just kind of comes out sometimes.
That's certainly very cool. And again, it goes all hand in hand with the leadership. Again, you guys keep the locker room in a really high spirits, it seems like. Just what are you most excited about for this group in particular?
Yeah, I think there's so much potential. I think that there's so much skill, and there's such a depth of skill that if we can put it together, there's no telling what we're going to do, because there is such a level of every practice, we've had scrimmages now, and I told Maddie Podolsky, which is one of our freshmen, I was sitting back there and I got caught ball watching because she was doing some crazy stuff that I was literally, as a soccer player, I was jaw dropped at. And I just love watching this team with the foot skill and the energy and what we want to do. And it feels collectively that everyone wants it so bad. And so I think with the skill and everyone wanting it, you don't know what comes of that. So I'm very excited for it to all come together.
And I'm sure you're excited as well for fans to get to watch you once again, because you've seen the rise of fans. Obviously, we limited things during the COVID season, but then since then, the buzz has been building around this program. What does that fan support mean to you?
It's awesome. Before, I think a few years ago and stuff, Alabama wasn't necessarily a soccer state, and there was not a lot of, it was the other football, obviously, and it still is huge on all the sports. But I think getting a fan base and having people that are going to show up every game and not having to worry about, what's going to happen here, what's going to happen there. We know that these people are going to show out, and especially for these big games. And, Duke, obviously that College Cup year was one of the craziest fan experiences I've ever had. And the amount of support and stuff from this city has just been amazing. And so I think this year it's exciting to, 22nd, I think, is our first home game. So getting back and having our people around us again, it's just really exciting, really cool.
We're definitely looking forward to that. You've gotten to experience Alabama's athletics as well through your relationship with Evan Slight, somebody we've interviewed before on this show. It was nice to look down at Evan's senior day. You were on the field along with Patrick Murphy, the head softball coach. How special was that? How great was it to watch him and what he did this year?
It was awesome. He's just someone that you want to grab on to anything that he says, and I think it's just so important. And we got a little surprise for our warm-up shirts this year. That'll be cool. So, and that's related to kind of stuff that he's told us. And I am so grateful for everything that he's done for just the community and all of these teams, but he's a special guy, and everything that he says to these teams makes a difference. So it was very cool to get that experience and have him kind of be there for him. But yeah.
It was really cool to see. And of course, you got to be at a lot of baseball games. Again,
Yeah.
you mentioned the Duke game. There were so many student athletes from all over campus that got to cheer you guys on. How meaningful is that?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, I have friends from track and gymnastics and softball and all those people, and it's kind of cool to do a little round robin where everyone's kind of flipping and going to each other's games in different seasons. But looking up there and seeing other athletes that took time out of their day to sit there and watch your game and cheer us on, it's so special. And, you know, students and stuff, it's really cool, but student athletes, we have so much in a day. And so them taking time out of their day to come sit for a 90-minute game, it's so special. And our track friends and gymnastics and stuff, it's a relentless support that just always comes back. So it's a really good feeling.
That's great to see. And again, you mentioned Alabama was your first visit. You felt like it was kind of straight out of a movie for a college experience. Has it really lived up to that in the last few years?
Absolutely. I think, you know, when you walk on this beautiful campus, it's hard not to be like just grateful of where we are. But as far as the athletics and everything going on here and how many strides that has even been made since I've been here, it's like a movie. So yeah.
Well, we hope for a great ending coming up this
Yes.
season with maybe another championship and a college cup run, hopefully a national championship. But Brooke Steere, you're one of the leaders that hopefully is going to get Alabama there. Just thank you so much for all the time you've given us on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Roll Tide.
Appreciate it. Roll Tide.